up guys, welcome to Sabrina Talks. I'm Sabrina if you're new. If you're not, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Sabrina Talks 2 and you can follow me on TikTok at Sabrina Talks 2U. Now, let's talk about today's episode. Today I'm going to be reacting to my Spotify 2020 Wrapped. Now, if you don't know what that is, every year Spotify, the music streaming service, for their members and their account holders, they do a nice little data presentation of all of the top artists and top songs that the consumer, listens to for the time period. So the Spotify Wrapped this year covers from January 1st of 2020 to October 31st of 2020. So they'll tell you things like your top artists, top songs, top genres, what songs do you have on repeat every year, and such things like that. So that's one of my favorite things to look forward to in December because I love seeing what artists and what songs are my top because I listen to a lot of genres, I listen to a lot of music, so I sometimes forget what songs I listen to heavily. Sometimes I know because I'll obsessively listen to one song, but for the most part it's a guessing game and I'm excited to see what this year holds. So before we get into this year's Wrapped, let's go into the past and let's look at all of my previous ones. So for 2018, my top artist was One Direction, not a surprise. Sam Smith, Ariana Grande, Drake, and Big Sean. My top genre was pop, not surprising, I am a pop girl. My top songs was I'm the One, which is that song with DJ Khaled, Chance the Rapper, Quavo, and Justin Bieber. And then One Last Song, which was the song by Sam Smith. Spice Girl, which is the song by Amine. It's a Vibe, which is the song with 2 Chainz, Jhené Aiko, and Trey Songz. And then the last song was We Found Love, which is a Rihanna song. Let's move on to 2019. Since 2019 was the last year of the decade, they did like your top artist of the decade. Can you guess who my top artist was? It was One Direction. That's not a surprise. I listened to One Direction on the daily. So they were my top artist of the decade. My top artist of the year was Ariana Grande. That's not surprising because I love me some Ariana Grande. One Direction was second, which is, I think it was the first year in a while where they were not my top artist. So Ariana took the throne for that year. Third artist was Ed Sheeran. Fourth artist was Rihanna. And then fifth artist was Amine, which was a lovely surprise. The top genres of that year was alternative R&B, pop, rap, soca, pop, and Hollywood. I'm assuming Hollywood was just all of the movie musical soundtracks that I listened to, so there's that. Soca is because, I'm Trinidadian, so gotta have soca there. And then alternative R&B, I'm surprised it wasn't just regular R&B, but I don't know what made it alternative, but whatever. Another one of the things that I had saved was that it says I discovered 170 new artists that year, which that's a lot. But it says I really vibed with Megan Thee Stallion. That makes sense. I love Megan. That's all the ones that I have for previous years. Let's get into this year's 2020 Wrap. So it says this year I discovered 111 new artists. I guess they're going to tell me what the artists are. It says I've listened to 191 genres this year, including 31 new ones. How? I'm curious to see what kind of 191 genres I've somehow discovered. Ooh, so my top genres was pop. Like I said, I am a pop girl. That's never changing. Number 2 was rap, which is surprising. Number 3 was alternative R&B. Once again, I don't know what this alternative is. I just listen to R&B, but it might be like new age R&B. Number 4 is soca. That's not surprising. Number 5 is pop rap. So it looks like I lost Hollywood and gained rap, but I'm surprised rap is number 2. But that's could be because this year I've listened to a whole bunch of Megan, whole bunch of Flo Milli, whole bunch of Mulatto. So it could be them 3 that really got my rap genre going up a bit. So my top song of this year is Falling by Harry Styles. That I'm surprised, but I'm more surprised at the fact that it's Falling. I feel like I've listened to a bunch of other songs way more than I've listened to Falling, but granted, Falling has been out since like December of last year, so I have technically literally a whole year of me listening to that song. And plus, every time I hear that song, when I listen to the full album, I have to play it twice. So that's probably why, because that's one of my favorite songs off of Fine Line. So That's interesting. Ooh, what other songs did I have on repeat? My top songs. Wow. Wow. I'm shook. Okay, so top songs of the year apparently was Falling by Harry Styles, Adore You by Harry Styles, Reeler by Megan Thee Stallion, Treat People with Kindness by Harry Styles, and Big Ol' Freak by Megan Thee Stallion. I'm really so surprised because I was expecting one Harry song, but for Harry and Megan to basically take over my whole list is extremely shocking to me. Reeler and Big Ol' Freak are definitely my two favorite Meg songs, so that makes sense. Treat People with Kindness is one of my favorite songs off of Fine Line, and then Adore You, I'm shook that Adore You's number 2. I feel like I didn't listen to that song so much, but apparently I did. I'm a pioneer according to Spotify, apparently. So it says I've listened to Hello before it hit 50,000 streams. Next up, Finding the New Millennial Pink. I don't know what any of that means. I don't know if they're talking about Hello by Adele or Hello by Kes the Band, because I've listened to both of them a lot. So I'm interested to see which song they're talking about. Oh, it's the Kes one. I forgot that this is singing to me as well as giving me the data. Right. Throw it back. Since time wasn't real this year, you revisited some old favorites. Compared to other listeners, what decade did you play the most? The 90s, the 80s, the 2000s, or the 70s? What decade did I play the most? The 90s? Let's see. Not quite. I played the 2000s. That's not surprising. I should have guessed that. But I do have a lot of 90s songs on my like playlist, so I guess I was just imagining that. But my top decade was apparently the 2000s. Who was by your side in 2020 other than your houseplants, of course? Okay, Spotify. Guess my top artist of the year. Ooh. Okay, so they gave me 4 options for guessing my top artist of the year. It's either Zayn from One Direction, Harry Styles from One Direction, Ariana Grande, or, get this, One Direction. So who do I think is my top artist of the year? But Harry's album came out this year. Oh, I don't know. My top artist has to be either Harry or Ariana. I'm gonna go with Ariana. Let's see if I'm right. I do know myself. My top artist was, in fact, Ariana Grande. And I was in the top 1% of their listeners this year. Sure. I mean, like I said, Harry came out with an album this year, but Ariana also came out with her album. And then I just generally listen to Ariana on a daily basis. And then also I did my video, once again, cards over here, of me ranking all of her songs. So I had to listen to a bunch of her songs to like jog my memory. This isn't too surprising, but I'm still shocked about the other 2 options that I had. Your favorite song of theirs was Nasty. I spent 1,565 minutes listening to Ariana. If you've seen my Ariana Grande, look at this, cards all over the place, links all in the description. But if you've seen my Ariana Grande Positions review, you know Nasty was my favorite song. One of my favorite songs off that album. That song is a hit. I don't care what nobody says. My top artists: Ariana Grande, One Direction, Harry, Zayn, and Taylor Swift. Wow. I don't know how I feel about that. Taylor Swift being number 5. I know why she's number 5. Because Folklore came out, so I decided to listen to that. And then I remembered all of her past albums was on Spotify again. So I was like, oh, let me go relive old Taylor Swift and like actually listen to some of her older albums that I skipped. So that's probably why she's number 5, because I had really had a whole day of where I was just listening to Taylor Swift. This is the first time Taylor has been anywhere near my top anything, quite honestly. I don't listen to Taylor like that. But Zayn and Harry, that's also not surprising. I told you, I love me some One Direction. Whether it's solo One Direction or plain One Direction, I love them with all of my heart. which clearly Spotify knows. First of all, they said thanks for spending all 67 months of 2020 with us. Spotify got jokes. I'm really so shocked at my Wrapped this year. I really thought that Victoria Monet or like Chloe and Halle, or at least maybe like Flo Milli, would be somewhere on this list because I listened to them heavily throughout this year, but they were on neither, and I'm assuming they're gonna be in like my top 100 songs, but I'm shocked. I want to get into my top 10 of the year. Y'all already know the top 5, but I'm now looking at my top 100 songs of 2020, so I want to see what my top 10 is. So like we said, Falling, Adore You, Reeler, Treat People with Kindness, and Big Ol' Freak is my top 5. Now, for number 6, we got Jaguar by Victoria Monet. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. I knew she was going to be somewhere on this list. I listened to Victoria Monet way too many times this year. Rules by Doja Cat is number 7. Not surprising. That's another song I've listened to obsessively because, hello, have you heard that song? Fantastic. Lights Up is number 8 on my list, which is another Harry Styles song. Cash-ish with DaBaby and Megan Thee Stallion is my number 9 song. And then Moment by Victoria Monet is my number 10 song. That's a song I thought was going to be like number 1 in my top listen to because, hello, I've listened to it ridiculously. Let's keep on going. So, West Side by Ariana Grande was after that. To Be So Lonely was after that. Sex Talk with Megan Thee Stallion. Dive with Victoria Monet. Wonder What She Thinks of Me, Chloe and Halle. Grammy nominated song. Fantastic song. Beautiful song. Watermelon Sugar by Harry. Captain Hook. Once again, fantastic song. Experience with Victoria Monet, Khalid, and SG Lewis, excuse me. And then Nasty, Sunflower. I mean, we got Enigma by Lady Gaga. That's a great song off of that album. We got Red Mercedes by Amine. Also fantastic song. We got Beat from the South by Mulatto. Great, great, great song. Fool for You by Zayn. Some more Amine. I mean, some more Doja. We got Cybersex. We got Nice to Meet You by Niall Horan, which is another One Direction member. I didn't really expect that song to be in any of my lists, but I'm kind of happy it is. We got Bluffin' by Khalid. Fantastic song. We got some more One Direction. We got The Weeknd by SZA. We got Rihanna in here. And Ari Lennox and Masego. We got Russ with All I Want, which is a song with DeVito. That's a great song. Shot Clock with LMA. Calvin Harris and Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa is nowhere on my list besides in my top 100. That's shocking. But to be fair, I did buy her album as a CD. And I've listened to that ridiculously in my car, so that might be why. But I'm really shocked about that. The last song on this playlist is Up Late by Ari Lennox. Fantastic song. Sharpest Edges by Gallant is in there. I love that song so much. So my top songs of 2020 literally all consist of various songs from Megan Thee Stallion, Ariana Grande, Harry, Chloe and Halle, Victoria Monet, and Amine. Those are my heavy hitters. Oh, and Doja Cat. Those are my heavy hitters for this list, which is shocking, but not shocking, if that makes sense. A couple last things I want to look at with the Spotify Wrapped. So Spotify on their Instagram did like the top 10 artists in 2020. So let's see. Number 1 is Bad Bunny. I mean, he's been having a good year, so that's not surprising. Drake is number 2. J Balvin is number 3. Juice WRLD is number 4. The Weeknd's number 5. 6 is BTS. I think BTS would be higher, but I guess them other 5 people really was getting people to stream. Billie Eilish is number 7. Taylor Swift is number 8. Number 9 is Post Malone, and 10 is Travis Scott. So technically, we have 2 women. 2 white women to be exact. So 8 of this list is men. 4 of them are black men. 1 is a white man. And then we got 2 Hispanic men and a Korean group. I'd say we're diverse with the men. We got some Hispanics, we got some Korean, black, white, one white man. Okay, but the two women are two white women? Where's Rihanna? Beyonce. I'm not surprised Taylor is in this top 10 artist. I'm more surprised that Ariana's not here and Billie Eilish is here. But okay, let's see. Top 10 female artists in 2020. 1 and 2 is Billie Eilish and Taylor because they were in the top 10 general artists. 3 is Ariana Grande. 4 is Dua Lipa. Oh, I'm glad Dua's up there. 5 is Halsey. I don't really like Halsey. But, I mean, good for her, I guess. Number 6 is Lady Gaga. Number 7 is Nicki Minaj, which is the first person of color we got up here. 8 is Rihanna. 9 is Camila Cabello. Really? Okay. And 10 is Selena. I don't know about 9 and 10. We could have had a Megan. We could have had a Beyonce up in 9 and 10. But okay. I mean, it's not something that, like, obviously someone's picking and choosing, but it's what everybody on their platform listens to, I guess. But Billie, Taylor, and Ariana and Dua makes sense. Dua's technically a UK artist that's crossed over here, so I guess that's a little more diversity. And she's Lithuanian, Armenian, something like that. And then let's see, top 10 albums in 2020. The one by Bad Bunny that I'm not going to say all out loud because that's too many letters. That's number 1. Number 2 is After Hours by The Weeknd, which is why it should have gotten a Grammy, but like I said, I am not in the Grammy committee. Hollywood's Bleeding by Post Malone is number 3. Fine Line by Harry is number 4, which makes sense. Future Nostalgia by Dua is number 5. That's a great album. Pop Smoke's album, his like posthumous album, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. That's number 6. Number 7 is When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Did that come out this year? I don't think that came out this year. When We All Fall Asleep came out in March of last year. I guess this album was really just popping for people, so they've been listening to it all this year as well. Legends Never Die, which is Juice WRLD's album. I think that's also his posthumous album. That's number 8. Number 9 is Divinely Uninspired to a Hellish Extent by Louis Capaldi. I don't think I've listened to that album, so I can't comment on that. And then number 10 is Changes by Justin Bieber. I don't know why people keep trying to nominate Changes for things, because it was also nominated for a Grammy, but that album is not it. No offense to Justin Bieber, but that album is not it. I don't know how it ended up at number 10. I guess it's just because he's Justin Bieber, so a lot of people was listening to it, but we could have had some better things there. Hey y'all, editing Sabrina here. I just wanted to reiterate the fact that there is no black women in sight in either the top 10 songs or the top 10 albums, and I find that to be confusing. I mean, granted, our society doesn't like to acknowledge black women, so I guess I can see it that way, but like, even let's look at just women in general. There's only 2 women on this list for the top 10 albums, and it's Billie and Dua. But I'm like, so much women released fantastic albums this year. And not even like, the underground artists or people who are now making it big. I'm talking about certified pop stars. And somehow there's only 2? To me, women recently have been really showing up and showing out and really expanding music and breaking out of their genres and doing things that are different. And yet, you mean to tell me only 2 of these women made it to this top 10 list? And only, I think in the top 10 songs, there was like 3 women. One of them was Dua, and 2 were 2 people that I don't really know. I know we are in a male-dominated society, but it still really baffles me at the fact that not more women are present on these lists, and I just am tired of it. I'm just tired of it. Like I said previously in this video, I know this is just like what Spotify users are listening to, and it's not like, like the Grammy community where someone actually picks these things. Well, at least to our knowledge, it's not like that. But to me, it still says so much about our society that we're still only constantly preferring to listen to men than women. When, I mean, women to me make some of the best songs out there. So, I don't know, I could just be biased, but Talk to me in the comments and let me know what you think. Now let's get back to the video. I believe that's all that I wanted to talk about for the 2020 Wrapped. I'm still shocked at the data that they gave me for my Spotify Wrapped. The fact that Taylor's on there is really blowing me. The fact that my whole top songs is literally Harry and Meghan is blowing me. The fact that Chloe and Halle and Victoria Monet are not nowhere near my top 5 of anything is also really blowing me. There's a lot of other things that are still really baffling me that aren't including on any of these lists, but it's okay because we will be talking about my top favorites of the year towards the ending of the month. So late December, look forward to that, where I'll do my best of and my favorites of the music and entertainment that came out this year. You can subscribe to my channel to be notified when I release that video. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Tell me who were your top artists of this year, and tell me what are your top songs of this year. If it's songs that I don't know, maybe I'll go listen to it, and maybe I'll find another song that I love, because I enjoy finding new songs and artists. Share this video with your friends so they can also see what my top artist was, and if they have any artists that are similar or songs that are similar. As always, thank you so much for watching my video. Please remember to be safe, be smart, be kind, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.